Good morning and welcome to the Village Window. I'm David Williams, Director of Operations at Goyee Village. I'm standing here with Charles Anderson. He's a resident, or rather deferred resident, of Goyee Village. He and his wife spend a lot of time out here though, even though they haven't taken up an apartment, and we appreciate all the things that they do for us through the volunteer program. Today's show is kind of geared around the things that happen at Goyee Village. We've done different shows on the village store, the village library, the different service opportunities available that residents involve themselves in. But it's more than just service. There's other things to be involved in too. And we're standing in the middle of one of the largest gardens probably in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. It's not manned by one person, but it's several people have things that they grow out here, from watermelon to beans to, in fact, I got to watch my step. I don't want to step on the beans that are planted behind me. Charles has quite a bit planted out here, so we're going to visit with him and find out what it is he does, not just out here in the garden, but in the village too. Charles, tell us a little bit about some of the service opportunities that you're involved in the village.
Well, David, Mary and I both volunteer in the cafeteria one day a week, and that involves helping people with their trays and their food. And then I work in the little village store a couple times a month as a cashier.
Right.
Mary in the past has helped with serving cold water in 4B in the mornings. Okay. And then we're in a lot of activities. I sing in the bass clef, which is a men's group, and a men's quartet. And I'm on the board of directors, and so I'm involved with that every other month. But here in the garden, I'm just learning to garden. This is my third year. Right. And I've never gardened before I came to Goyee Village. But we have a lot of experienced gardeners here that have helped me with advice and seed and even tools. And this year I have this plot. This is a full plot. And I have some things that are perennials that come up every year, like the Jerusalem artichokes and the asparagus and some onions. But most of it I have to plant each spring. And I got out here early this spring and planted onions and beets and collards and turnips. We're already eating from those things. But a little later I started tomatoes and cantaloupe and different kinds of squash. And just recently I've planted this area here, which is actually kind of late start, but it's got a lot of beans, different kinds of beans, and some root crops like carrots and those kind of things. And so I like to play in the garden. I try things like, I've got a pineapple growing over here that's on its second year. Of course, it hasn't borne anything. Right. And then I've got a pepper plant that I take home in the winter and put on my sun porch. Oh, okay. So it's 4 years old. Oh, wow. Do you get quite a bit out of the garden, so you take it all home, you eat it, do you share any of it? Well, we planted a lot last year. For instance, we had 23 tomato plants last year, and we were bearing so many tomatoes that we were sharing them here at the village as well as freezing them. And we even had one of our friends take care of the garden while we were away for a couple weeks. Right. And she was getting so many tomatoes, she actually filled up a shopping cart and went up and down the aisles in the main apartment area there to pass them out. Yeah. So we do a lot of sharing. Yeah. Well, I know cucumbers, squash, a lot of that gets shared. It gets set out on tables because it's overages that they can't use, and residents and employees get the benefit from that. Charles, I really appreciate you letting us join you out here in the garden. Okay, and be sure to lock your car when the cucumbers start. That's right. We'll get so many, I'll put them in there if I find it. They'll be busting out the windows. Thanks, Charles, I really appreciate it. We're going to go take a look at what happens in the wood shop when we come right back.